Imagine a stretch of desert so secret the government denied it even existed for almost 50 years. No signs, no roads on any public map. Just endless dust, distant mountains, and a dry lake bed shimmering in the heat. But if you drive too close, cameras spot you before you even see them. Unmarked vehicles appear out of nowhere, and white and orange posts warn that deadly force is authorized against anyone who crosses the line. There are no missiles here, no prisons, no obvious reason for this level of secrecy. Just a name that has become shorthand for every conspiracy theory about the government hiding the truth from its own people. Area 51. But the real story isn't about aliens. It's about how a patch of empty Nevada desert became the most famous secret in the world, and why the government's own secrecy is what created the very legend it always tried to deny. And once you hear what was actually happening out there, you'll understand why the truth turned out to be almost as strange as the myth. In 1955, the CIA needed somewhere remote enough to test a brand new spy plane without anyone noticing. They found it beside a dry salt lake in southern Nevada called Groom Lake, inside a vast military training range already used by the Air Force. It was isolated, surrounded by mountains that blocked the view from any public road, and close enough to existing test facilities to be practical. On old survey maps, that particular block of land happened to be labeled Area 51, and the name stuck. The first aircraft tested here was the U-2, a high-altitude spy plane designed to photograph the Soviet Union from 70,000 feet, well above the range of any missile of that era. To keep the program hidden, the government simply refused to acknowledge the base existed at all. Workers were flown in on unmarked planes from Las Vegas, forbidden from telling even their families what they did for a living, and required to sign strict secrecy agreements that, for some, lasted for decades. That secrecy created an unexpected problem. The U-2 flew far higher than any commercial airliner of the time, and its silver fuselage caught the sunlight in ways that made it look strange and glowing from the ground. Almost immediately after testing began, air traffic controllers and pilots started reporting mysterious high-altitude objects over Nevada. According to information declassified decades later, a significant share of UFO reports across the United States during the late 1950s and 1960s can be traced back to sightings of secret aircraft just like this one, tested at or flying to and from this very base. Because the government couldn't explain the real cause without revealing a classified program, it usually just denied that anything unusual had happened at all, which, ironically, only fueled public suspicion further. The U-2 was only the beginning. Through the 1960s and 1970s, Area 51 became the testing ground for some of the most advanced aircraft ever built, including the A-12 and its successor, the SR-71 Blackbird, a plane so fast it could outrun most missiles fired at it, and later the first operational stealth fighter, designed to be almost invisible to radar. Each of these aircraft looked genuinely alien to anyone who spotted them without context. Sharp, angular shapes, unfamiliar engine sounds, flight profiles that defied what people expected an aircraft to be capable of. Test pilots and engineers who worked there have since described a base built almost entirely around secrecy. Hangars with doors that closed the moment any aircraft was visible from outside, work schedules designed so employees' families never learned their real assignment, and strict rules against even acknowledging the base's location by name. For decades, the government's official policy on Area 51 was simple: refuse to confirm it existed. Maps sold to the public showed nothing there but empty desert. Congressional hearings about environmental and safety complaints from former workers were held without any of the standard details usually included in such records. Freedom of Information Act requests about the site were routinely rejected on national security grounds. This total silence, stretched across nearly half a century, is really what transformed Area 51 from a classified test site into a cultural phenomenon. If the government wouldn't say what was happening there, the public was free to imagine anything. And it did. Stories spread about crashed alien spacecraft supposedly recovered and reverse-engineered inside the base's hangars, often blending Area 51 with an entirely separate and much earlier event, the 1947 Roswell incident in New Mexico, hundreds of miles away, which is where the alien crash legend actually originated. Over time, popular culture simply merged the two stories into one. Television specials, films, and books throughout the 1980s and 1990s cemented the connection in the public imagination, portraying the base as a secret alien research facility rather than what it actually was, one of the most important aircraft testing sites in American military history. It wasn't until 2013 that the CIA officially acknowledged, in a declassified internal history of the U-2 program, that Area 51 existed and named it directly for the first time. The document confirmed the base's real purpose, testing experimental aircraft, and openly stated that many historic UFO reports over Nevada were caused by these very test flights. Even then, most operational details about what happens at the base today remain classified. The base is still active. Satellite imagery shows an expanding runway and new hangar construction over the years, suggesting whatever is being tested there now is, once again, something the public isn't meant to see yet. Ground access remains completely restricted. The perimeter is monitored by motion sensors and cameras, patrolled by private security contractors often nicknamed camo dudes by trespassers, and marked by clearly posted warnings that deadly force is authorized for anyone who crosses onto the site itself. In 2019, a viral internet joke calling for people to storm Area 51 to see them aliens gathered millions of signatures online, half as a meme and half as genuine curiosity about what was really out there. In the end, only a small number of people actually showed up near the gates, and no one got anywhere close to the restricted core of the base. It became less an assault on a secret facility and more a strange, spontaneous festival in the desert, proof that even in the age of satellite imagery and the internet, the mystery still had a powerful pull on people's imaginations. So what is Area 51 really? Not a hidden alien morgue, not a base built to study creatures from another world. It's something almost more interesting. A place where human engineers, working in near total secrecy, built some of the most advanced flying machines in history, machines so far ahead of their time that ordinary people who glimpsed them genuinely believed they were looking at something not of this earth. The greatest trick Area 51 ever pulled wasn't hiding aliens. It was proving just how far a government's silence can travel once it's left to the public's imagination. If this story surprised you, hit like and subscribe, because next on this channel, we'll tell you about another place where the official story and the legend